Hey everybody, welcome back to my Fleatale finds. These are the pieces that I picked up this week. I got them mostly from various flea markets and I'd like to share them with you. So let's start with the first piece. This is a little cat glass charm that is known as a Crackerjack charm. So starting in 1912, Crackerjacks, the popular candy-coated corn treat seen at baseball games as well as many other places, used to include little gifts like these and metal items and so many more things. This is one of the little animal charms that they included. It's glass, he has rhinestone eyes, and a little metal collar. It would have had a little bead dangling from it as well. He has a little teeny chip on him, but they're still very collectible and very appealing. The next item that I have is this wonderful pin. This is by Trifari. I would say it's most likely a Alfred Philippe pin, and as you may know from my other videos, Alfred Philippe was a top designer for Trifari for many years. He started the crown pin craze as well as so many other things. He designed for Van Cleef & Arpels, which is a very well-known high-end jewelry company, and you can kind of see that in the work here. Now this is a piece for Trifari. I don't know if you can zero in on the signature, but look at how well this piece is constructed. And I paid maybe about $4 for this piece and maybe $1 for the cat charm. Now here's another piece by Trifari. This also is probably a Philippe designed piece. Look at how nicely that's made. I think of this as sort of a wheat leaf complete with marquise-shaped rhinestone gold-plated bracelet. Just a wonderful, wonderful piece. This is sort of what it looks like on. You can understand why they were so popular, because their look sort of imitated the fine jewelry. That's the work of a fine jewelry designer. Here's another piece. The rhinestone piece was probably from the 50s, I would imagine, 40s, 50s. The same thing with this bracelet. This one has Austrian pink, sparkly marquise cut glass stones in it. Sparkly, wonderful, collectible. I paid, I think, $1 each for these pieces. Somebody was selling out their storage unit, and I was fortunate enough to find what they had. Now, here's something I'm going to take away from Trifari for a little bit. This bracelet is by a more contemporary Israeli designer. I think the name is pronounced Michal Negrin. As I mentioned, they're out of Israel, and they make wonderful, more contemporary jewelry. This was made maybe a few years ago. They make so many wonderful things. If any of you have been fortunate enough to go into one of their stores, they used to have one in Atlantic City, New Jersey, in the mall there. Just wonderful metal rhinestones, enamel. They do frames and all different types of jewelry. Just an incredible menagerie of things. So now we're going to go back to Trifari. This is probably also from the 50s. It has the little Trifari tag as well as the name on the clasp. This has, to me, sort of an Egyptian look. I mean, I could see this with like a wonderful lapis lazuli colored necklace, or by itself, and it has their extension made really nicely, dimensioned to the little beads, the interspersed beads. Very nice piece. Here is another Trifari piece. So this is a newer piece. This is white enamel and blue enamel. And as you look at Trifari, you'll see through the different eras, decades, their logo changes. It started out with, I believe, well, there was a signature prior to KTF, but it started out with KTF, which was for Craftsman, Trifari, and Fischl, and then it started changing as the eras went by. If perhaps I do a video on Trifari jewelry, you will see how it changes. Oops. But this is just a wonderful sort of, to me, I Love New York pin, although I'm sure this predated the I Love New York logo and advertising campaign. Then here is a piece by Vendome. This is a wonderful, sparkly Austrian crystal and balls studded with pave crystal. So Vendome, and again, I don't know if you can see this, if you could see the signature, but Vendome was actually an offshoot of Coro. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Coro. They and Trifari were some of the most productive and well-known costume jewelers of the 1900s, especially the early 1900s. So Vendome became so popular. They were started in about 1944, and they became so popular that Coro made them their own brand. And their pieces are very collectible, some more so than others, but I mean, that is just spectacular and even nicer in person. Then here's a piece by Jomaz. So I don't know if you can see him. He is an adorable little owl pin. He has a little bit of missing enamel on him, and he has those wonderful pave rhinestones and a lot of dimension and detail. And Jomaz was started by Joseph Mazer, and you'll see Jomaz or Mazer Brothers. Again, they made wonderful copies of better jewelry. As you can see from this piece, it's sort of hard to tell when one is wearing this on a nice outfit whether it's real or not. But to me, I think a lot of their work rivals fine jewelry companies. Which brings me to this piece, which is sort of a modernist, brutalist, freeform, just amazing, again, Jomaz piece. So this was probably done in I would say the 50s. It has a wonderful, this is sort of called a jelly belly, which was, I believe, coined by Coro and Trifari. Jelly belly usually means lucite, but this is glass, it's turquoise glass, and these are wonderful strass, or diamante they call it, which is rhinestones, just sparkly and big and bold and different, and again sparkles incredibly in the right lights and sort of rivals the fine costume jewelry. What an amazing accent to any outfit, an amazing conversation piece. Then we have, let's see, then there's this. So this is an incredibly interesting piece. This is marked Greta's Halsa Park, and I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to say it incorrectly, but it's from Norway. I don't know if you can see the signature. I mean, look at the work on here. To me, this almost looks like a museum piece. It is so sort of the period. To me, again, this is sort of modernist and abstract, and you know, I feel sort of Picasso a little bit in this piece, and it has these wonderful dangles, and it's a long necklace. It's not silver, it's sort of like, and it's not pewter, it's just metal. It's sort of a pewter silver colored metal, and a very interesting pendant necklace. Then I have these, which are signed Hattie Carnegie. And Hattie Carnegie came to the United States, I believe, in the early 1900s. Her real name is a little difficult for me to pronounce, but Hattie Carnegie wasn't her real name. When she came to the US, she said, let me know what the wealthiest person in the US is. And at the time, I believe it was Andrew Carnegie. And so she changed her name and made it Hattie Carnegie. She became a milliner, so she worked with hats and worked her way up in the department stores, and then went into jewelry to help accessorize her clothes. And these earrings are not really indicative of what she makes, but just, again, lovely and sparkly, probably from the 40s or 50s, and colorful. Then I have this piece, which is a Goldstone. So this is Goldstone. It's glass, and I believe they got the name Goldstone because there are like little flecks in here that resemble gold. And then the chain is gold filled. And the necklace is signed Amco. It's a little difficult for you to see, but a really lovely necklace, perfect for any Goldstone collector. Then I got these. I thought these initially were Trifari. They're these wonderful peacock earrings with that blue jelly belly center. These are a plastic lucite opaque center. Nice look to them, and signed Avon. We know them for mostly their fragrances and their makeup, but they were also very big and continue to be in jewelry production. Then I got this piece, which is signed Kramer. And Louis Kramer was such a good jeweler and did so many pieces, wonderful little artworks with the finest of stones, that he was actually hired by Christian Dior, and I'll show you a Dior piece next, to produce his jewelry. Wonderful look, wonderful detail, the way that it's made, just brilliant. Then I have these earrings. So this is the Dior that I have for this week. Again, just wonderful. Christian Dior was one of the most innovative, well-known designers of the 50s, and came up with the new look in, I believe it was 1947. Again, these were probably done in the 60s or 70s. He had a lot of designers doing his jewelry for him. His earlier pieces, as well as these, are magnificent. If you get a chance, take a look at them. Then I got this locket. It has sort of a Victorian revival kind of feel to it. It's etched beautifully on the front, no etching on the back, has a nice bail, and comes with this chain, and it's all 12 karat gold filled. Then I got this. Actually, I had this was in my collection, but I'm going to sell it because I get a lot of pieces, so when I get something else, I sort of replace it with something. This is by Mylor. Mylor is a wonderful company, an Italian company, started in 1979. This is hollow, but has just an amazing solid look, feel to it. It has a nice weight. Mylor is known for making wonderful jewelry. They're out of Milan. They make gold, silver, gold plate, just all interesting, different kinds of jewelry. And then lastly, this is by, oh actually there's one more piece. This is by Trifari. This is like these little buckles. They have rhinestones, sort of pave rhinestones in this wonderful patterned silver tone metal. It comes with the hang tag. This is only a piece of a hang tag, and this is a close-up of it. Again, just wonderful artistic jewelry. Here's a pair of Heidi Daus earrings. Heidi Daus sells a lot on QVC. She's more of a modern jeweler. Her crystals are very nice. Her jewelry is very nice. There's a lot of it on the market though. That's the only thing for me. So I appreciate the artistry, but I personally prefer the more vintage jewelry. And then lastly, I have this ring. So this, it was also in my collection. This was 14 karat gold. I think I paid $5 for this. It's got 7 diamonds. They're like about 2/16 of an inch large. It's hard to tell. It's not really sort of telling its story through the camera lens, but it sparkles and it's amazing. It looks like it was done by an artisan probably in the 70s. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at all of my jewelry this week and perhaps have learned something. I appreciate you sharing with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Bye.